So I am starting. Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. At first, I would like to thank Dr. Mustafa Latif Emek, Chairman of the Institute of Economic Development and Social Research, Republic of Turkey, for providing me this opportunity to present my paper in the 6th International Congress on Scientific Research that takes place on the 2nd and 3rd of September in Ankara, Turkey. Further, I would like to thank the moderator, maybe Archana ma'am now, to grant me permission, to present my paper. I am Dr. Keshav Chandra Mandal, the headmaster of SM Nagar Dhirajio Sriti Vidyalaya, Kolkata, India. I have been doing research for the last 2.5 decades. Since 2006, I have published 16 research-oriented books from both India and abroad. I have contributed in 4 book chapters and published almost 60 articles in newspapers, journals, magazines from India and abroad. My 14 books are available in India's National Library, Kolkata. Also, my 4 works in English language are available in 46 world libraries. Okay, today the title of my paper is Development in India, Challenges and Prospects. This paper is prepared on the basis of my latest research on the topic, the secret keys of development in India. The methodology adopted was desktop research. In relation with literature review, I would like to share that almost 250 books, articles and websites have been examined to prepare this work. And the hypotheses are mainly 3, which are as follows. I am just sharing. The secret keys of India's present development is hidden in its past richness. Number 2, India's holistic development is related with per capita income and spiritual development. Number 3, the more the human development, the greater the sustainable development. Hello? Okay, so, okay, thank you. I would like to divide my presentation in 3 segments, right? These are why this study was conducted, number 1. Number 2, what is development and what are its different dimensions. And number 3, what are the challenges and how to overcome them, right? So, now I am going to tell about you why I choose this particular topic for studying. Why this study was conducted. It is, to begin with, I must start with this. In contemporary world, there is much clamor as well as curiosity relating to India and her growth trajectory. This young but glorious country has no doubt been successfully showcased her talent and competence in global sphere. If we look back, we will find that for a long time, India was recognized as the cradle of human race, the birthplace of human speech, the mother of history, the grandmother of legend, and the great-grandmother of tradition. It is important to highlight that India is a non-violent, non-aggressive, and spiritual country from thousands of years. India's trade and commerce, its spirituality, religiosity, and social system flourished during the period between the date of the Rig Veda 1200 BC and the 1st century AD. India was a vast and rich country in ancient time. It is not that India is now rich and large. You see, India's size was changed from time to time under the sway of powerful dynasties. It is learned from history that India was, quote, really a continent rather than a country. It is peopled by many races with different languages and religions. Its greatest length and breadth are roughly 2000 miles, that is, it is as large as Europe, with Russia left out, and 20 times the size of the British Isles. It has a population of 338 million people, or nearly 10 times as many as England, and 1/8 of that of the whole world. Half the inhabitants of the British Empire were the Hindus. H.G. Rawlinson wrote in his book in 1938, page number 1 and 2. Further, P. Stobdan, in his latest book entitled India and Central Asia, The Strategic Dimension, he wrote this book in 2020. In page number 170, he pointed out that the fabled, quote, I'm just quoting, the fabled Silk Road, which came into being in the 3rd century BC to 15th century AD, had a profound impact on the evolution of the cultural complex extending from the steppes of Central Asia to the northern parts of India. A widespread network of caravan routes made Central Asia a land bridge between the east and the west, and between the north and the south. The region since then started playing the role of a contact point between civilizations. Several empires, religions, languages, philosophers, and cultures flourished here. The traders, pilgrims, and travelers crossed the transcontinental trade route, the exchanged goods, culture, and ideas, and erected an environment of prosperity and harmony. So India was such a great, such a vast, and such a favored country of the world. So following this tradition, India is striving hard even today to retain glory and set her foot strongly on the global arena. Recently, India has been declared as the world's largest populated country by overtaking China. It is now the world's fastest growing economy in terms of area. It is the 7th largest country in terms of size of the economy. India is the 5th largest. Also, India is the world's biggest democracy. India's defense budget is the 3rd highest in the world. Very recently, India has created history by sending the Chandrayaan-3 spacecraft on the Moon South Pole. Only yesterday, India has successfully set off its maiden solar mission Aditya L1 to the Sun to study various elements relating to Earth's nearest star. Indian science and technology is developing massively, and her English-speaking students and youths are energetic, enthusiastic, curious, hardworking, and innovative, who have all the potentialities to transform India into a superpower within the next quarter century that has been defined as the Amrit Kal, that is the golden period which has been counted from 2022 to 2047. Despite all these facts, India is not free from problems, and its challenges are myriad, as poverty, illiteracy, poor health, poor infrastructure, political turmoil, corruption, lower per capita income, depressed skill development, lower level of women's participation in economic and decision-making bodies, etc. However, the government of India and its people are aware of these challenges and are striving hard to overcome the shortcomings. So, in such a situation, India wants to achieve a $25 trillion economy by 2047, which is a great challenge. So, secondly, how India can foster and expand its traditional soft power such as spirituality, morality, tolerance, fellow feeling, love, sympathy, non-violence, and cooperation in the stripped-down and agonized people in the world is a major challenge. Thirdly, how India can revive her trade and commerce and manufacturing industries, its science and technology, research and development in space, defense and technology and ecology. Fourthly, how India can identify its major drawbacks and forgetting all narrowness, parochial political stance, pluralism, and multi-religious, multicultural traditions intact, how India can work together to make one nation, one India, and one aim. But we have to respect India's democracy, India's pluralism, India's multi-religious, multiculturalism, all in India's tradition intact, right? So this is a tough task indeed, to make a proper investigation and to give a realistic and holistic solution to the problems India facing today. This research study has been conducted, right? So now the point number 2 is, what is development and what are its different dimensions? The concept of development is closely related with the concept of growth. So what is growth? So growth is irreversible increase of an organism's size over a given period of time, right? So this is mainly a biological term, but it may also be defined as one of the characteristics of a living thing. Alright, so according to Collins dictionary, the growth of something such as an idea, organization, or an industry, and its development in size, wealth, and importance. And what is development? Development, according to me, or it seems development has different dimensions, but these may be grossly classified as economic, political, social, spiritual, or moral and psychological development. But to my understanding of development, in a general sense, it is a process in which a person makes progress from his or her earlier position and situation to a better position or situation, or from a no position to get a good position and earning dignity, recognition, and income. There is no limit of development. It is a continuous process. Due to constraints of time, I would like to discuss only economic and spiritual or moral development if time permits. Economic development, just giving a definition, economic development is a process whereby an economy's real national income as well as per capita income increases over a long period of time. So, it contains changes in resource supplies, in the rate of capital formation, in demographic composition, in technology, skills, and efficiency, in institutional and organizational setup. In short, economic development is a process constituting of a long chain of interrelated changes in fundamental factors of supply and in the structure of demand, leading to a rise in the net national product of a country in the long run. So, to some scholars, economic development is the outcome of conscious and deliberate efforts involving in planning. Economic growth, on the other hand, signifies the progress of an economy under the stimulus of certain favorable circumstances. For example, the progress achieved by the United Kingdom during the Industrial Revolution. In his simple words, Madison says the rising of economic levels is generally called economic growth in rich countries, but in poor ones it is called economic development. You see, the sustainable development goal number 8 says about promoting inclusive and sustainable economic growth, employment, and decent work for all. Point number 3, what are the challenges standing in front of India and how those challenges can be overcome? You see, according to International Monetary Fund, the top 10 economies are the first position is held by the United States of America. There, you see, the people of America earns $80.03 thousand dollar. You see, their per capita income, whereas their GDP is $26,854 billion. So China with $19,374 billion, Japan with $4,410 billion stands the third position. Germany with $4,309 billion stands fourth position, while India with $3,750 billion stands the fifth position in economic term. But the GDP per capita income of the United States of America is 80.03, whereas in China it is found 13.72, in Japan 35.39, Germany 51.38, but in India only 2.6. It means $26,000 is per capita income of Indian people. So from here we can understand that India is lagging behind in many fronts. And if we see that India's GDP life expectancy, India's life expectancy and India's mean years of schooling and gross national income of gross national income is comparatively lower than the other developed countries or the top 10 economies of the world. So these are the things, or these are the places where India should give emphasis, and I think that with the combined effort, India will definitely come over all these things. And I would like to share about the constraints, major constraints. I would like to just tell the outlines, or tell a few lines, or about the constraints which India is facing now. So absence of good and strong education system so far, though India government of India has prepared its latest education policy, National Education Policy 2020, which will help India to overcome its problems, because many of its crises, like what I say, like corruption, like violence, and all these like this, and the quality of education, all these things could be overcome with the National Education Policy 2020. And you see, so far India did not have a role model in society, and still India is lacking role models in society. But for this reason, India should create more and more genius people, great people, so that the young students and children can emulate them to become like them, right? So India's education was valueless so far. There was no value education, there was no moral education, there was no discipline education, there was no punctuality education and spiritual education. But I think that these are the most important education which the government of India should think of and impart to the students of the new generation. And many people still believe in fate, and instead of believing in fate, we should believe in, yes, I'm just closing 2 minutes only. Instead of believing in faith, people should believe in their skills, increase in their skills and capacities. I think that will help India to grow more. And right, and finding faults of others is not good. Instead of finding faults, we should find faults of others, and we should work hard. We should have an aim to attain. You see, I have calculated in this book that to attain $25 trillion economy by 2047, India needs to at least 80 crore people. I say in 2047, when India will celebrate its 100th year of independence, at that time there will be the population of India will be 161 crore, and at that time, if half of the population, mainly suppose 80 crore people, earns 26,000 rupees per month, per year, that is suppose 1 lakh and 15,000, 1 lakh 2,15,000 rupees. Sorry, 2,15,000 rupees. If an individual earns, then by 2047 India could achieve this $25 trillion economy. And I'm saying that it is not unrealistic, it is very much realistic. And the way the government of India has given an emphasis on science and technology, its space research and robotic engineering, and then nanotechnology, and in science, technology, engineering and mathematics. And I think the day is not far when India will be able to achieve this target. And with this, we need a good society. We do not need corruption, we do not need any violence, we do not need any war, and we do not like also. Indian people are good, Indian people are sober, Indian people are disciplined. Most of the people are like that. We live together. There are so many religions, there are so many cultures, there are so many languages, and so many people. We live here together. We live together. We think together. We eat together. We work together. We work together. We learn together, and together we will make this country the best place in the world. With this hope, I would like to conclude here. Thank you very much for listening to my presentation. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much.